Oh, fuck. Hello everyone and welcome to the first race of the season. This OMRL is split into two halves while the AMRL and UMRL go on to finish the final 5 races of the season. But here we are in basically the second sort of season here in OMRL in Tuvalu. So this track is very, very technical, heading into the Sector 2 now with Nick. This is probably the hardest sector on the whole calendar. I'll be very honest with that, as he makes a massive mistake and goes into the gravel. It's not going to be a very good lap from him. As we see Pat on the hard tyres, I only just saw that as he's doing very weird stuff. I think in Portugal he went on the medium, so I think he's just being silly at this point. As Georus sets the fastest lap with a 34.4, which is good, but obviously these drivers are looking to get a sub 34, which is what the top leagues are probably going to be getting, as Lance is off the road there. But anyways, Fefonet makes a massive mistake there. Who else are we seeing on the grid today? Omabab, Dan Rojak, he's back. His last race was in Canada. But the second laps are coming. What's it going to be? Georus improves his lap and he goes to a 0.08, which is a bit of a good improvement, as we were just hyping him up before the race about how to say his name. But yeah, I think Jocelyn's going to be really happy with this one since he is Dutch. But anyways, let's see if he can improve his lap and maybe snatch pole from the rest of these guys. But the furthest away from him is Fefo with a 0.4. But anyways, they're coming around a final corner now. Let's see, shaping up to the line. Let's see who's going to be able to get pole position. Is it going to be Georus? Is it going to be someone else? Staying the same. Pat goes into P3 on the hard tyres. What a lap from him. Harb takes it with a 34.03. That was a very good lap from him. Sorry, I was saying Georus, but Georus gets into second place, and Harb takes pole position here in Omara, I think for the first time ever. We have Fefunet and then player 10 in P4. Then we have Pat on the hard tyres. Very good qualifying from him. Then we have Slander, Nick, Marto, Omabab, Quackers in P9. Very good qualifying. No, P10, sorry. Very good qualifying for him. Then we have Dan, Miko, Lemons, Ozzy, Charles Leclerc, Fast Pace, CK Riz. I'm saying that for the content. His name is actually Chris. And then we have Lance Skull in P18. Right, I'm so excited, bro. Here we are for the 5 lights going out. Harb gets a terrible start. What is that? Georus immediately takes the lead. Pat going into second place around the outside of Fefo and Slander. Slander trying to squeeze through the middle of them both, but it doesn't quite work out. In the back, we got Marto off the track as well. There's lots of chaos as Slander lagging a little bit. I'm not sure what that was, but Georus massively already as CK Riz massively off the rope in P17. He's had a massive crash and he's going to be happy with that, because I've mentioned him finally on the first one out of 18 laps, as he's trying to make the move on Lemons. Going back to the front. Joris massive lead already. He's got about a 1 second gap, a gap of 1 second, sorry. Fefunat in P2 fighting with Slander and Pat. Is this going to work out for... And Pat gets slammed into the wall there. That was crazy by Slander and Fefonet. But anyways, these guys battling. Slander weaving across the track there. I think he's one of the new rookies, Slander, unless he's someone else who's changed his name, but it doesn't really matter. Joris making a slight mistake there. He's slightly running out of time to the people behind him, but he's already got a 1 second gap. I'm going to be so gassed if this guy wins. He is a bit of an OG, you can say. Not really an OG. It's Pat. No, that's not Pat. Who was that into the wall there? Saw someone massively into the wall at the back. Anyways, CK has to DNF from this race, unfortunately, because I think he's lagging. Fefinet into the wall as well. He goes down to P4, but that wasn't very good for him, as Pat into P3 now, chasing down Slander. Sorry if there's any background noise, but Joris got about a 2 second gap to the rest of him. He's getting very close to the pit wall there. Sorry, there's a bit of a problem with my mic. But anyways, getting back to the race. Sorry, there was a bit of a problem with my mic. But anyways, Georus leading with a 2-second gap to Slander, and then Slander and Pat battling away for P2. They're going to try and chase Georus down. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the battle here. We have Slander and Pat. Pat trying to go round the outside of Slander. Doesn't quite work out. He goes crazy wide there. But he tries to go down the inside of turn 2. Doesn't quite work out. He loses a bit of time. But I think CK Riz is sad that he has to leave the race due to lag, but very unfortunate for him. Georus going along really nicely, looking really hooked up at the moment, but going back to Pat and Slander, it's getting closer between these two. Pat with the more experience out of the two. Slander is trying to get this win here. He's got 2 seconds to Georus ahead, but yeah, I don't think at this point Georus is in his own league at this point. But going back to the back, because I've been loads of complaints about not looking at the back of the field, we got player 10 and Lance Skull going side by side through turn 2. Didn't really work out there, but they went side by side through turn 2, and it didn't really work out for player 10 as he hit the barriers. But going back up, the man who started on pole position, Harb, goes down the inside of Omabab, and I don't know what happened there. They just kind of both hit the wall and carried on. But there's a massive pack there of Dan, Aussie, Omabab, Crackers and Harb. As Omabab is off the road, player 10 is going to go side by side with him through the last corner, and he's not going to get the move done. Omabab keeps the place, but player 10, as Harb hits the pit wall. It wasn't very good here, but we're seeing the first pit stops. That's Crackers into the pits for the hard tyres. Probably going to stint those to the end, as I'm experiencing some lag right now. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyways, it doesn't matter. We can see Georus into the pits on lap 7. No, he doesn't. He stays out. He's going to go, I think, another lap on those soft tyres. He's got a nice gap to Slander, but Slander into the pits. Sorry, I'm getting so much annoyance right here. Yeah. Sorry, there's so much commotion going on in my house right now. Anyway, Slander into the pits, comes out on the hard tyres. And I'm not sure what's happening with Pat. Pat is falling down. Is Pat pitted? Okay, yes, Pat is pitted. So these guys are basically fighting for P2 as Georus into the pits. Is he going to come out ahead of these two? Very important if he does, and he doesn't. Slander is in the net lead. So Slander is leading this Grand Prix with Georus behind Pat. So it was a very bad decision to stay out that extra lap. So Georus might have thrown away his win here, but he is going to have the advantage of Bro's commentating on himself racing. What are you on about, mate? Anyways, doesn't matter. We're seeing fast pace, having a little bit of a lonely race here. As Lance Goal makes a massive mistake there, player 10 swooping around the outside of the sector 2. Oh, bro's commentating on Georus. Yeah, bro, we're brothers. Even though I'm not Dutch, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, going back to the front, Slander still leading as he makes a massive mistake there. I just cut it to it. He made a massive mistake. As Pat in P2 chasing him down on the faster, not fresher, they got the same tyre life, but anyways, Pat is on the faster tyres, as Georus, I believe, may have thrown away this win with 8 laps to go. Maybe Pat will pit again. I think Pat is pitting again. Slander, I think, is going to stay out for another 7 laps to try and take the win on debut, but Pat is going to go down the inside, going into sector 2. It doesn't quite work out. He hits the wall there. I'm not sure what is going on. Yeah, he's into the gravel and everything, but it's not going to be very good for him as he narrowly missed out. He narrowly missed out on Hockenheim 2 weeks ago to Pipio. Sorry, that was a holy voice crack, bro. As Pat is weaving across the track, not sure what he's doing. Anyway, Slander on the hard tyres, running away with it, sort of. Let's go back to the back of the field. Fast Pace and Lemons chasing each other. across a start-finish straight. Lemon's gonna get the slipstream towards turn 1. Doesn't quite work out going into turns 1 and 2 as he has to concede the place to fast pace. Aussie, Marto and Quackers, these guys going through sector 2 now as Marto and Quackers going side by side. Quackers forced off the track there, loses about a second worth of time. I'm not sure who keeps leaving and joining the lobby, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. But Dan in P8, and we have Omar Bab in P7, Charles Leclerc, and we have Miko into the wall. I'm not sure what's happened there. Is that lag? Or is he just generally DNF? On my screen, he is going off the track. I think he's going to DNF from the race. But anyways, we got 5 laps to go left of the how I don't even know what it is. Is it Tuvaluan? I think it's Tuvaluan Grand Prix. As Dan and Rojak Dan and Omabab going side by side. I can't speak. Anyways, they're going side by side as Miko leaves the lobby. Saw him lagging a little bit earlier on, but let's see any battles for the lead. Pat and Fefo going side by side through turn 4, that is. Georus chasing Slander for the win. He's got about 5-second gap. That's a massive gap. Slander is looking to win this race. He's got 4 laps to go until he crosses the line and takes a checkered flag. But he looks like he's gaining. No, Georus is gaining on him about, well, it's quite even pace actually. But lots of people are DNFing, so not great for them. Trying to find battles on track. Here we are, Quackers and Marto. Marto gets the switchback done. Quackers completely misses the button, it looks like, and goes way into the gravel. But anyways, looking on the mini map, we've got Charles Leclerc and Fefinet battling for P4. Charles Leclerc doing very well, I think. He debuted in Hockenheim 2 weeks ago, so he's trying to go round the outside of Fefo for P4. He gets the move done very nicely. And he's going to chase after Pat. He's got about 1.5 second gap to Pat. So we'll see if he can catch up to him. Pat catching up to Georus. So we'll see if this is going to be a battle for P2. Georus is catching Slander by about, I think, a second a lap. So the gap was 5 seconds. Now it is 4 seconds. I'm sorry if you can hear anything in the background. It's going to be really annoying. But it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we have Slander leading by 3 seconds. Pat is catching up soon. I'm sorry if you guys can see the server lag, but they go side by side through Pat. I'm not sure what's going on with the server at the moment. It's never usually this laggy. But Pat and Georus going side by side through sector 2, through the hairpin now is lagging massively. What the hell is going on? Don't even know what is going on. But yeah, these two probably on their screens are battling out nicely, but they're losing time to Slander, who's probably going to win this Grand Prix. He's got 1 lap to go. Is he going to be able to do it? It doesn't really matter, but Slander going through sector 2 now. This is a horrible laggy situation here. Sorry, I had to mute, but anyways, yes, Slander on the last lap going through sector 2 now. We're watching Pat and Georus. Pat has slightly got the better of him. He's got a little bit of breathing room, but we're seeing Slander coming down the final home straight, weaving across the grid. He wins on debut his first ever race in Omarel. Very nice win from him indeed, as Pat takes P2, Georus in P3. Then we have Charles Leclerc in his second ever race in P4. Then we have Fefo and Dan photo finish across the line. I'm not sure if it actually was though. Then we have Omabab. Then we have player 10, Aussie. Then we have Marto crossing the line now. Fast pace. We have Lance and Quackers. I think the race ended slightly early there. It doesn't quite matter since they weren't fighting for points anyway. But Slander wins his first ever race with Pat just behind him. Then we have Georus. Then we have Charles Leclerc, Fefo, Dan and Omabab. Then we have player 10, Aussie and Marto. Those closing your top 10. But in this game, I think it's your top 12 that get points. So Fast Pace and Lance Goal will get points as well.